Hello and welcome to the second part of my rehousing on my PC with the Frontex Ethoo Pro. Today we're going to prepare the box for the upgrade, putting everything in place ready for when I tear the other box apart and replace all the parts into this one. So I'm taking off the front here, as you can see first, and you see that filter there with the two clips to actually take it out. I've already taken out the lower filter, and you've got the two bay drawers here, which I'm going to just remove because I'm going to put my two optical bays in, the ones that were causing the problem with the former box. So that's quite simple to pull off. Just drop that down there for now. Again, you can see the ports there and the little flap, and there's little clips on the side, either side, where you can take the flap off, which as I said, I'm going to paint that port white to match everything. I'll do that later. Off comes the top. Now remember I said about the dust filter on the top, well, it's actually held in by clips. The filter's bent over, as it were. It's got to be taken off to be removed. I'm going to leave the top off because it's going to give excellent access for when I put the main board in and for fitting all the parts in. You can see the huge fan in the front, but there's also a space here with sliders for two separate fans, 120s and 140s I believe. Just move all this out of the way. And try not to knock the camera over as I come back. So here we go. This is the wiring setup on the back here. As I said before, you got the fan hub. Just pull out the other dust filter before we go any further. And so you can see the wiring and the drive bays. And as I said before, these wonderful loops of Velcro which hold everything in place. Now the screws I'm trying desperately to pull out here at the moment are the ones that hold the PSU cover on the front, but they're so tight I'll just have to grab myself a screwdriver. They're very tight. So just remove these three. And take out the three thumb screws. Well, I might as well just take off the SSD mount as well. Put that out the way. I'm not actually going to be using that. So it's a little bit tight, as the whole case is at the moment. It's very well put together, as I said, and everything fits very snugly. It's a bit of a struggle actually taking this off. Just check underneath, I think, make sure there's nothing holding it under there. Can't see or feel anything. So it's just a slip-in fit, and it's just very tight at the moment, so I think I'm going to have to use a bit of good old brute force on it to get it out. There we go, out it comes. So now you can see how much room there is in the bottom there. It's actually room for the second fan or even a water cooling system in the bottom there, radiator in the bottom. So out come the drive bays. As I said, I'm not going to be using these drive bays, although there are 8 drive bays for 8 3.5-inch discs. I won't be using any of them. I need to maximise the airflow through, and I'll explain why as we put the new system together, or indeed as we pull the old system apart. These are very snug fit again, so out they come. and they're surprisingly heavy, very, very good quality material. One last screw which I dropped down, but there's so much room here that it's very easy to get at, no struggle there. So you see now the whole area is open for the air to flow straight through. So now it's time to start tackling the wiring, and now this lead here comes from the rear fan, and I don't want it going into the hub that is supplied, as my Asus Rog board actually has fan controls built in. So I want this to go into the actual fan header on the board so that the board can actually control it. I'll just loosen it all up at the moment and pull it out and plug it from the header. And then take it all the way back through. Back through the grommet, and then I'll just wrap it around the fan for now. It's such a long lead. I don't need it that long, and it's a good way of hiding the lead. I'll just add a little bit of tack or tape to keep it in place. And it's just about perfect, like that's around about where the fan header actually is on the board. Just in that position there. So now we have the rest of the wiring, and again it's not all in the position that I want it as yet. This fan here I want again to be controlled from the motherboard and not from the fan header, so I'm going to have to release that one. And I got two fans to go in the top. I was going to put the two fans I have to go in the top where the large fan is, but I think I'll keep that there and have the lit fans in the top because they'll shine down onto the motherboard. The normal LED lighting goes along the bottom and that side there, as I just showed. The extra bit you can get. So here goes then. Let's start undoing these wires here. I think I'll just remove these out of the way for the moment. Pull the Velcro through. Might actually be easier to take it all the way through. Pull them out of the way so I can get at all the wires in one go. And this is the fan lead from the front, which I'm going to just detach for the moment. That lead will go through to the front at the bottom. Sort of just by the in between the SATA connections actually on the board. And you have the reset buttons, the power LED, the power button, all in these leads here. Just going to do this one as well. There you go. So they're all here. And then group these all together and put them all together in one place because they all go to the same place in the motherboard. And then here you have the USB 3 and USB 2 headers. Now they go to two separate places on the motherboard, so they go through different grommets. Again, these go to the very bottom of the case, so I'll be taking them through, not the very bottom grommet, but the one just above it. So let's pair them up all together. Good long leads as well. I just get these all nice and neat and tidy, going down to where I need them to go. Thread the Velcro strips back through the little holders. I think I'll actually put them in the middle of the strip rather than underneath them, so it'll be easier for moving them about if I need to move them about, so I'll just rearrange this one. There we go, just move it out of the way. The third one in place. Then, as I said, I'm not going to put it through the bottom because that's where the power comes out. What I will do is put it into the one just above. Because that's more or less exactly where the wires go to on the motherboard itself. Just tidy this up a little bit more, make it look a bit neater. Got some more wires to put in there later, so a bit more space for them. So I'm not going to put it through there, because as I said, that's the power wire. I'm going to put it through the one just above. That's the power supply for the hub and the header for the hub, which usually comes down, but I'm not going to use that. I've actually got two fan headers up there already, so I'll be using that for the top with the splitter. I'll just move this out of the way. Don't really want to pull it too tight because I don't want to damage any of the leads, but just move it there. Hold it in place. So next we're going to sort out the rest of the leads. This is popped out again, so just pop that back in out of the way. So next we've got the USB headers, USB 3, which is just about here in the center of the board, so I'll put that one through there ready. Meet again in one place, and then we have all the control leads. Power lead, reset lead, hard disk drive, LED lead, as you can see there's so much room using these Velcro straps as opposed to wire ties, which I don't like anyway because I don't like having bits of wires sticking out all inside the case. I usually use the plastic ties, but these Velcro ones are much better. Again through this next from the bottom grommet because that's where all these leads attach. And finally we have this lead. Now this is the lead, that is the control lead for the case lights that I mentioned. So if you have the case lights, they're controlled via this lead. So I don't need this at the moment, I'm just going to wind it up and hook it up the top here just so it holds in place, out of the way. There you go. It's all nice and neat and tidy, all the leads in place, ready to go through to the motherboard once I've installed it. I'll just put these ties back in place. All the grommets are ready, everything's out of the way, lots of space for ventilation, and of course I've got the SSD mounts out at the moment because I'm not actually going to mount them on the back there. I'm going to put them on the front so they can be seen, and here are all the leads coming through the front. And I'm thinking about putting another fan in the bottom here just to increase the updraft of the ventilation and to have positive pressure inside the case. So you'll have the big fan on the front, one on the bottom, and then 3 taken out. So that's the case prepared and ready. The SSDs I'm just going to place on top of here with some special adhesive, non-damaging adhesive strips which I picked up today. So as not to damage the paintwork on the cover here. They will be removable as well. The strips are actually made so you can remove them safely and replace them if you need to. Again, you've got the clip-ins for the 3.5-inch drives. Basically you press the button, push it forward, push the drive in, and then push the clip back and it's all fitted in. But we'll see that when we come to the actual fitting. So there you go, all ready for the next part, which will be the strip down of the whole system and cleaning, and then the rebuild.